What is up, everybody? We are on a new map. This is Oran, Missouri. It's built by Delta South Mapping and Modding. Same guy that built the Kentucky map. I decided not to do a Let's Play on the Kentucky map. I decided to pick this one because this map, the only way to get this map is to go to his Patreon. The Kentucky one, I believe, actually got leaked or something. So it is public. However, this one is not exactly public. It is, but it's not, if that makes sense. You have to go to his Patreon. So it's behind a paywall if you want this map. It's got all kinds of fields, different sizes, shapes. They grow cotton in Missouri, like southeast Missouri. They can grow cotton there. So, because I want to play with cotton, and I figured this would be the perfect map to do it on. So, I mean, right now we're harvesting some high moisture corn because this is kind of what the base get, or what the map loaded with. It loads with crops and fields, and it's just random crops. So your field could have really anything. And this one got high moisture corn. It's ready to harvest, so I figured it's money, why not? Probably won't be playing with too much corn on this map, I don't think, because we're going to play with cotton. And we might play, I don't know what else we're going to play with. I have to think about it. Cotton's definitely going to be one of them. Probably not going to be the first year. Maybe not even the second year, because cotton harvesters are like $800,000. And then you also need a loader, a bale, spear to pick up the cotton bales. So you need a little bit of equipment, a trailer for hauling bales. So a little bit of equipment there to support it. So it might be year 2 when we do cotton. Possibly year 3. Probably closer to year 3. We shall see. Yeah, we're taking off some high moisture corn right now. It's our John Deere S770 combine. We have an 8400 John Deere front wheel assist tractor. It's kind of odd. I don't ever really play with wheeled tractors. Most of the time they're on tracks, so this is kind of different. Change of scenery for me. I was getting a little bit bored at the way I was playing with big equipment tracks on everything, so just a little bit different style for me. I'll show you the map here. All of our fields are right across from each other, so we haven't really expanded out too much yet. This is year 1. Our farm is right over there. It's a pre-built farm on this map, except for that last building over there. That's a placeable that I put in for a little bit more storage. So other than that, it's a pre-built farm. Everything else, the bins, the house over there, the other shed with the tree next to it. So after we get done with this corner right here, we're going to go over there, over on the other side of the truck. That little section right there is ours, and then this wheat is ours over here. Same across over there. That's ours, it's wheat. We have a field of sunflowers. We might play with sunflowers. We'll see. Instead of corn, sunflowers. Might do that. But yeah. That's what we got going so far. I'm going to try to play realistically, so that's why I'm taking off this corn, because we need the money for it. We have a little over $500,000. So that's why we're taking this off. I'm going to try not to cheat on this one and just add money like I've done in other saves and games. So, or other maps and saves. But yeah. Kind of slacking on the videos lately, but I've been busy. So how many people, I wonder how many people watch college football that also watch my videos, because this past week has been crazy in the sport, like especially for Washington fans. I don't feel bad for Washington fans at all. Let's see, I love Oregon, and Washington got exactly what they had coming. They got what they deserved. They lose the national title Monday night. They absolutely get annihilated by Michigan. Washington's defense was not ranked very good. They got just dismantled by Michigan. And then, on top of that, all their players are leaving for the draft. Michael Penix is a senior, so they're losing all of their players. They have next year they're returning one starter on defense, one starter on offense. That's it. Their second string quarterback, who was going to be the starter next year, well, he's transferring out. This guy has not completed his task. What are you doing? And then Wednesday, Nick Saban steps down and has decided to retire. I don't know how many people saw that one coming. I definitely didn't. I just thought it was really odd. On a random Wednesday, the greatest of all time is going to retire just on a random Wednesday? I just thought that was kind of odd. I mean, the man is 72 years old. I don't think he cares for the transfer portal and this NIL stuff. I think that kind of ran him out a little sooner. He's old school, so I don't think he cares for this new era of football. He steps down. All these rumors of Dan Lanning going out there start. I was just mortally concerned Wednesday night because everybody was just saying Lanning, and I'm like, oh my god, if Lanning leaves, we're screwed. Are all the guys that we brought in, half of them are probably going to decommit? I was like, we are screwed if Lanning leaves. And I don't have X, Twitter, whatever. And I'm pretty sure Lanning, like, they kept saying, oh, he's in Tuscaloosa, which turned out to be false. I guess he posted a picture or whatever. He was at his house watching Jason Bourne movies with his kids, while people were saying he's in Tuscaloosa when really he's at his house. Because I know the Washington people started running their mouths about, oh, Lanning's going to leave. You guys, you lost to us twice. Now your coach's going to leave. Oh, and then within 24 hours, Lanning. Here's what Lanning did that's just genius. The media team from Oregon, they made a video that said, if you're worried about your coach leaving, come play for us. And I'm not leaving. Dan Lanning posts that. Most guys would have came out with like a tweet or something saying, oh, I'm not leaving, or they would have done something lame like that. But what does Lanning do? Doesn't do anything for like the first 24 hours. I mean, he put the picture up of the Jason Bourne movie, but he had no caption to it. It was just a picture, so it doesn't really tell you a whole lot. Puts that up. So for 24 hours, he all these rumors, and he's not really saying anything. And then I don't even know if it was 24 hours. It may have been more closer to 12. He comes out sometime the next day, around 11, 12, with that video. That's when they post that video that said that. So here's what Lanning did that was so smart. Instead of just saying a tweet that says, oh, I'm not leaving, he turns it into a recruiting pitch. Not only does he go, I'm not leaving, but he also posts up a video as a recruiting pitch. If you're scared your coach is leaving, come play for us. Dude just killed two birds in one stone. That's genius right there, what he did with that. That he turned it into a recruiting pitch. Lanning is special. The guy really is. But, and then, so, to the story of Washington, they lose all these players, they lose to Michigan, and then Kalen DeBoer is leaving them, and is now the Alabama head coach. And I'm pretty sure they're losing their offensive coordinator. I can't remember what that guy's name is, but I'm pretty sure he's going to follow DeBoer to Bama. At least that's what they're saying. I don't know how factual or how true this is, but that's what they're saying. And the Washington has already got their new coach. They got Jed Fish. I don't know how do you say his last name? It's fish, but it's not spelled like fish. It's Fisch. I guess that's still fish. Jed Fish from Arizona. I don't know, why would you leave Arizona to go to Washington? Arizona was up and coming. Like, he had Arizona going in the right direction. Arizona's going to the Big 12 next year. Washington's going to the Big Ten. So I don't know if he thinks that he's going to be able to recruit better at Washington opposed to Arizona. But he had Arizona going in the right direction. They were really building something there. They dramatically were much better this year than they were last year. So I don't understand that one. More money, maybe? I don't know. I haven't really looked too hard into it. All I know is Washington, they're... good luck next year. Good luck. Because when they come to Eugene, November 30th, I can't wait to see Lanning unleash on them. And I hope he does. I hate Washington with everything in me. I can't stand their fan base. So, I hope they get dragged through the mud when they come play Oregon next year. Just for what happened this year, and then also the game we lost to them last year. Lose to them 3 times, all by a field goal in each game. But I just think it's crazy that everyone just instantly threw Lanning out of their mouth to take the Alabama job. And I kind of just wonder if he was even offered the job, because some part of me says he was, other part of me says he wasn't even offered the job, and people were just throwing that out there. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I'm 50-50 on it. I guess I have to believe more that he probably maybe was offered a job. And if he really was, then Alabama really saw a lot in Lanning. So, but like Lanning said, he's happy at Oregon. Everything he can want is there. And here's the other big thing. It's like, who wants to work in the shadows of Nick Saban? I know I wouldn't. Because you know that Alabama, they're going to expect the title every single year. And when the board doesn't deliver, he's going to find that out real quick that between them and Washington, it's a very different place. It's like Oregon. If Oregon wins a national title next year, Lanning's gonna get a 20-foot statue in front of Autzen. Like seriously, like if you win a title at Alabama, it's just another title. You'll be like the 16th, 6th coach, whatever it is, to win a title there. It's not that special. You win Oregon their first one, the universe is gonna go like the Oregon universe is just gonna go like insane. Like the fan base is gonna go insane. Like it is gonna. I can't even put into words what it would mean for that first national title to come if Lanning can pull it off next year. It's gonna mean way more to us than him going and just winning one at Alabama. Had he gone there. But I think that's the other thing is like Kirby Smart. He has his own thing at Georgia. Lane Kiffin. I thought for sure Lane Kiffin was just holding out for that job. Like once Nick was gone, I figured Lane was gonna be jumping up and down for it, but I don't think the boosters at Bama like Kiffin. And also, Lane Kiffin kind of has built Ole Miss up, and he's got his own thing there. I mean, Lanning has his own thing in Oregon. So, all these guys that a lot of people thought might go for Alabama, they kind of have their own thing going. I mean, why take over a program Nick done built when you can build your own thing? Build your own legacy, and that's what these guys are doing. Because I know some people say, why would you turn down the most prestige job in college football? And it's like, Bama wasn't shit before Nick Saban got there. I mean, yeah, they had one with Bear Bryant back in the 60s, 70s. I think Bear was in the 60s. I don't know anything about Alabama. I don't know their history, but I know before Nick got there, they were not good. They weren't in a good place. I'm pretty sure they won a title in the 90s with, I don't even know who it was. But Alabama hadn't done really anything for like 30 years. And the fact that we're saying, oh, it's the most prestige job in all of college football, I'm like, get out of here. I was like, maybe some delusional Alabama fan be saying this, but I laughed when I heard that. It's like Alabama really wasn't nothing before Nick got there, to be honest. I know some people are going to disagree with that, but each their own. But Lanning's got a good chance next year to win a national title at Oregon. I thought this year was going to be the year, which 2 kicks kept us out of a title. Probably playing for a national title, two kicks. especially one in the Pac. I mean, if they just made it in the Pac-12 title game, that would have been it. The first game against Washington wouldn't even have mattered. So what does Dan Lanning do? Gets in the portal, gets kicker. That was objective number one. We got a kicker. We got the kid from Oregon State who is like 49 out of 50. The dude is like automatic. Got a 6-star punter. Not only did he get Oklahoma starting quarterback, but he goes out and gets UCLA's quarterback, Dante Moore, starter. Picks him up. Dante was a freshman last year. Dante was actually committed to go to Oregon. And then when he found out Bo Nix was going to go there, that's when he flipped to UCLA last minute. But originally, Dante was going to go to Oregon. So now we got him. Yesterday they picked up that kid from, or not yesterday, it was Thursday. They picked up Evan Stewart from Texas A&M. That kid is good. I watched highlights of that kid. Granted, he didn't play a whole lot last year. I think he was hurt. And Texas A&M's offense was just trash. That's what led to Jimbo Fisher getting fired. Because A&M's offense was just garbage. They pick up that kid. They've picked up a really good safety out of Kansas State. Dan Lanning's, he's got the work. Like, he's identified where the weakness was. By far, the secondary was the weakest point of the Oregon team last year. It was the secondary by far. The offensive line was crazy good. The defensive line was really insane as well. It's just the secondary that got torched. So he went to work, got some cornerbacks, got a safety. I still think could use one more cornerback and maybe one more defensive lineman. He's picked up a really good defensive lineman out of Houston with experience. Lanning's just a good coach. He was under Nick Saban for I think a year or so. He learned from Nick. Then he was Georgia's defensive coordinator when they won those titles. So he learned from Kirby. So got us as a good coach out there. Supposedly, one of the cornerbacks from Washington is in the portal, and they think he might go to Oregon, and I'm like, please, if that happens, that's going to add more salt in the wound to Washington. Like, Washington fans ran their mouth so much this year. I don't feel sorry for them at all, what has happened here. Like, I hate Washington. I think I've already said it, but I hate Washington. So if we could steal some of their players, they're good players, on defense, more salt into the wound. So I'd love that cornerback to come. And as far as joining the Big Ten next year, I think Oregon, depending on what happens with Michigan, if Harbaugh leaves, I think Michigan's going to significantly drop. Michigan doesn't really recruit all that well either. They do okay. They're definitely not in the top 10. They do okay though. Harbaugh leaves. I think Michigan drops quite a bit. Blake Corum's leaving. JJ McCarthy's leaving. He announced that today that he's going to the draft. And then I believe that running back Edwards, number 7. I think he's leaving. I think I saw that he's gone. So Michigan's gonna have to replace quite a bit of talent next year. However, Oregon plays them at Michigan. I don't know. That's the game where I think we might be in trouble, is having to go to Michigan and play. Get Ohio State at home, which I can't wait for. I honestly don't think that'll be a problem. Especially if Ryan Day doesn't hire an offensive coordinator, I think we'll be alright. Because it's going to be out in Austin. And I don't remember. I think Washington was the last team 2 years ago to come in there and win. So it's been a while since somebody's won in Austin. That and Dan Lanning has just loaded up on talent. So if Ryan Day, it depends on what team Ryan Day brings out there. If he brings out the sluggish, just discombobulated Ohio State team, they're going to get blasted. Like, they're going to get monstered. So, like I said, it's going to depend on which team Ryan Day brings out there. And then as far as them, I just don't understand. Like, so Harrison's leaving for the draft. That, Oh, what's that defensive kid that's number 44? I don't remember what his name is. He's coming back. He's pretty good. Their running back is back. They're getting that kid from Ole Miss who's pretty good. Their Ibuka, that dude's coming back. I think there's a couple other receivers they're getting back. I don't understand a quarterback situation like this. I could go on a rant for 3 days about this. You ran McCord out of town, who probably would have done pretty well next year. You pick up Will Howard, who had actually less numbers and touchdowns versus Big 10 or Big 12 defenses than McCord did. So I was like, how does this make any sense? I don't think Will Howard's going to be... I don't know. This is going to be very interesting. I don't see them getting any more production out of him than they got from Honda McCord. I just don't see it. They should have went... Ryan Day should have went all in on Cam Ward. That's who they should have went after. Because he said he was going to the draft, and then he's changed his mind. Now he's going to Miami. But I think they should have went all in on Cam Ward. The dude had like 3,800 yards of passing last year. They should have went all in on him. Dual threat. I just don't see Will Howard being any different than McCord. Like, I don't see him outdoing McCord in numbers-wise. And had McCord not thrown his 2 interceptions against Michigan, they would have won that game. So I don't get it. Would they have beat Alabama? I don't know. Because Michigan's defense was just insane this year. But we'll see. It's going to be very interesting next year. As far as picking just an early national title winner, I'm going to go either Georgia, Oregon, Texas, or Ohio State. That's my 4 that I think are capable of winning. Georgia may have done it this year. Georgia, I think, probably could have won a national title this year. I don't know if Michigan could have beat this Georgia team. I know Georgia lost to Alabama, but play that game again. I don't think Alabama wins again. I just think that everything went right for them in that game. The other thing Ohio State picked up is they picked up Alabama center. The kid that couldn't snap the ball in the Rose Bowl. Because I don't know how many people watched that game closely, but they had all kinds of snapping issues. Like, the dude was basically grounding the ball to Milroe. So Alabama was having to pick it up off the ground so much. So Ohio State picks up that center, and all the Alabama fans are like, he's a good blocker, he just can't snap the ball. So I'm like, if Ryan Day thinks he's going to use him as a snapper, unless they can, figure it out, figure this kid's issues out with snapping the ball. But if he plays like he did in the Rose Bowl, it's not going to end well for him, if that's what their plan is. But I've been saying for a while, Ryan Day needs to hire an offensive coordinator. Until that happens, I just don't see them beating high caliber teams. I think if he adds an offensive coordinator, I think it totally changes everything. But we shall see how that goes over. But definitely got him in my top 4 for favorites of a national title next year. Possibly Ole Miss. We shall see. And then Alabama. Ole Miss and Alabama are the 2, especially Alabama, that are kind of hit or miss. Like, I have a hard time believing Kalen DeBoer in his first year at Alabama can lead him to a title. Because he's got to get past Kirby Smart first. And I don't see him beating Kirby. I really don't. At least not year 1. He might get him year 2, but year 1, I just don't see it happening. Because I believe there's a receiver going from Alabama to Georgia. But like I said, we shall see. It's going to be a very interesting season.